What's up, guys? Welcome to the live reveal of the C8 Corvette ZR1. I'm sure by now you guys have probably already seen the video I put out earlier today where there was a little bit of this information leaked. So we kind of already know what the car is going to look like. We have a pretty good idea what kind of horsepower we're going to get. What we are hoping to get tonight is a little bit more information, a little bit more detail, we'll say. So we don't know quarter mile times. We don't know 0 to 60 times. We don't know price, which of course is pretty big. We don't know anything about how heavy the car is going to be, weight. We don't know a lot of the actual details. So, yeah. So we are as uh yeah, Speed Stuff LLC says that the reveal is at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Mine is starting at 7 o'clock because I wanted to talk a little bit about what's going on before the reveal. I will be streaming the reveal right here though, so if you guys want to chime in and have a little bit of a discussion, as soon as that reveal is live, it's going to be played right here on this screen as well, so you don't even have to leave. Then we're going to go right into talking about what we just saw. So we're going to do a little bit beforehand, show the reveal, then we're going to get right into the aftermath where we can discuss everything that we've just seen. So I'm kind of curious if you guys have seen the previous video yet, the video I put up today at about 7 o'clock in this morning. Basically, there was a website that leaked some of the images and some of the specs of the car. So if you guys haven't heard this yet, the ZR1 is going to have 1,064 horsepower, which is absolutely insane. No one saw this coming. Everybody thought we were getting a 1,000 horsepower Zora model, but no one saw this coming for the ZR1 model. And yeah, the ZR1's getting 1,000. So will the Zora model exist? If it does, how much horsepower will it have? I mean, geez, at this point, where do you go with it from there? But they're going to, of course, most likely add the hybrid motor up front from the E-Ray to give it even more power, and probably add some active aero to it, if I had to guess, to call that the Zora model. Now, like I said, guys, for those of you just tuning in, this is going to be a prequel to the actual reveal. The reveal will be displayed here as well, so you can kind of set up shop, hang out, talk Corvettes, see the reveal, and then we're going to talk a little bit more Corvettes. So, yeah, that's how it's going to go. If you are interested, of course, I'm interested in your opinions. This is Amber. This is my wife. She's here for the show as well, because she's just as much of a Corvette person as the next guy. So yeah. So Kelly Kazuma says, will we see the car at Carlisle? I do believe we're going to see it at Carlisle now. Initially, some people had speculated we weren't going to see the car at all at the reveal. And I said, if they don't show the car at the reveal, we're probably not going to see it at Carlisle. But sure enough, that was incorrect information. We did actually see the car. And well, we already saw it in a couple of videos and everything. But at the same time, the reveal tonight might not show it. But even if it doesn't, I have a bunch of images I can show you guys. Ray Do says, where can we watch the reveal live? You can watch it right here. As soon as 7:30 hits, I will be displaying it on this screen for you guys to see. So you do not have to head anywhere. You can just hang out here, talk Corvettes, see the reveal, and then we're going to discuss all the details of the reveal. So yeah, Joseph Roman says, I'm hyped for Carlisle. So my man, this is my 7th year straight. Sixth
since 2018.
Yeah, so 6 years straight. Very, very awesome show. B31 says, how many models of the ZR1 do you think they'll make? As of now, I've seen 2 pictured. So I can actually show you guys here the 2 that I've seen so far. We have right here. This is what we're seeing so far. So we have the ZTK package car on the left with the big wing, and then the non-ZTK on the right, which is going to look a lot more like a Z06, but it's still going to have that ridiculous 1,064 horsepower from what I can tell. So, yeah, it is absolutely insane. And it doesn't matter if you get the ZTK version or not, you are going to be getting some seriously ridiculous power. So these are the 2 models I've seen. So, well, I haven't seen them, but that Chevy has released so far. And then, of course, if you guys are interested in this sort of thing, the convertible does exist. I've had a couple people ask me about the convertible so far, and this is a convertible car right here. That is certainly a ZR1, and you can tell by the hood scoop in the front, says ZR1 on the side. This is a convertible option that does not have those rear shoulder intakes, so that there's a little bit less cooling going on with the convertible version, but nonetheless, you can get the car in a convertible as well.
Do you remember when you thought the ZR1 we were picking up back in 2019, we thought 755 was a lot?
Yeah, 755 was insane, and now all of a sudden 1064. I mean, I can't even I can't even begin to imagine what that car is going to be like to drive. And then if you guys haven't seen it yet, this is actually the engine setup, which looks like a piece of jewelry. I mean, look at that thing. That is just number one, it's massive, but number two, it's just so nicely put together. It almost saddens me that you're not going to see it once it's in the car for the most part, at least.
Is it going to have a little hood scoop kind of like the ZR1 has now, the C7? You know, it has that
Um,
cow.
no, not really,
No.
but yeah. So guys, we got 1,000 people watching. If you could please smash the thumbs up button. Like I said, in 20 minutes we're going to live stream the reveal as well from Chevrolet. But until then, we're going to talk a little bit of the details that we know so far. Um, so far we know 1,064 horsepower, 828 pound-feet of torque. Uh, we got the ZTK version, which is the high wing version. Of course, the non-ZTK, which is going to be the low wing version. You can get it in a convertible. The extra cooling on the sides that we've seen in spy shots is actually for brake duct cooling. So the side intakes actually will go right onto the rear brakes. And then the shoulder intakes on the coupe will be additional air intake for the turbos.
We have Edward and Trent asking about a manual transmission.
Nothing about a manual transmission yet, guys. Odds are very good. Probably not going to happen. GM did file a patent a long time ago about a clutch by wire system, but so far nothing has come of that. So I wouldn't imagine this is going to change much.
We have a super chat.
Blue Vet, Corvette community tuning in. Thanks for tuning in, buddy. Person not found donates $5. Says just watched a video of it doing 204 with the big wing. I wonder how fast it is without the wing. I saw that video too, and the thing is I didn't think that that was actually all the car had. So I think top speed is probably going to be a good bit higher than that. There was a rumor initially that the top speed was going to be closer to 220, but that might be for the non-ZTK version. But even then, the ZTK should still hit probably 210. J Max says, Justin, are you getting one? I do have a first round allocation at a pretty big dealership. Assuming the price is right, I will be getting one. Because, like I said, guys, I had two stipulations: the price, and it had to be a flat plane crank. And we found out today it is a flat plane crank. It is a 5.5 liter flat plane crank with twin turbos. And the RPM was lowered from 8,600 down to 8,000. And they didn't say anything else about what they did as far as the compression ratio or anything to make sure that this thing's going to be reliable. But they did say that they used thicker forged titanium parts inside the engine to, of course, deal with the additional power. Because if you think about it, this is almost 400 horsepower more than the Z06, which is absolutely insane because the Z06 is already pretty freaking fast. You're adding 400 more horsepower to this thing? I never saw this coming. Adam Flung says, I don't think prices are going to get released today. I don't think so either. If I had to guess, we're not going to hear price. We're not going to hear weight. We might hear some 0 to 60 times and might hear some quarter miles. I would like to also see exactly what Guest says here. I'd like to see the top speed talked about as well. 10 seconds 06 says, we got 1,200 people watching here, guys. Smash the thumbs up button. Let's try to make the thumbs up match how many people are watching. That would be really awesome. Like I said, if you're just joining us, we got about 15 more minutes until Chevy's official reveal, and that's going to be live streamed right here. So we're going to talk about the car, watch the live stream, and then jump right back into some more discussion afterwards to see exactly how you guys are feeling about this car. I already am absolutely enamored with it. I did not expect to wake up to any kind of information like I did this morning, but yeah. Yeah. Vaughn says, sadly, the dealerships are probably going to go crazy on pricing. They probably will. John Q, basically the way that the allocation worked for me was it was something that was given out very early on before ZR1 or anything even existed. It's another one of those dealership wrote the name on notepad kind of thing. And then once it's official, I'll be number one at this dealership. And it's a pretty big dealership. So odds are good I'll get it pretty early too. If at this point there's one stipulation left, this thing cannot be over 200. I would say 220 to 250 at most 250 because that's already 100,000 more than I paid for my Z06. And it's just at what point do you draw the line? I mean, I can't get a car that expensive. She'll kill me. So
No, I wouldn't. Just as long as I can get my Urus.
yeah.
We're good.
It is not live yet. It will be live in about 15 minutes. You're going to be able to see it right here. So stay tuned. Yeah, the power to weight ratio is going to beat the Demon for sure. My concern, of course, is always weight with these cars. I just looking at the engine, I mean, you can see it here. She's a big girl. That's a big engine. So I'm hoping it didn't add too much additional weight to the actual car itself. But Charlie says, where do we watch the live stream at? You're going to see it right here. So right after we're done talking about it, I'm going to stream it right here on this same screen you're watching now. You don't have to go anywhere. You'll be able to see the live stream as soon as it starts.
That sounds so crazy. Do you remember way back in the day when we got married and we got our first Corvette?
Mm-hmm.
What was it? 62,000? The
Yeah.
Z06 C7?
68.
1,800 miles or something?
2,200.
2,200 miles. And that was, now we're thinking 220, 250. Who would have ever thought Corvette would have got that high in price?
LT4 Powered says, are you going to sell the ZR1? C7 ZR1? I'm not. I'm going to try to keep both. But if this thing comes out and it's ridiculously priced, I'm just going to keep the C8 Z06 as well. But if it has the pricing that I think it's going to, I'm going to get it.
Jamie, he does have my permission to buy. Glass City Car Nerd. I like cars too. I just we're running out of room with 5 vehicles.
Yeah.
We're running out of room.
Well, one of them's
another one.
The C8 Z06 is going to go. I'm going to trade that on the ZR1 because it's basically the same car, only better. C8 Z06 says price is starting at $159,995. I think you're pretty close.
You think we're going to get pricing tonight?
I don't think we're going to get pricing tonight, but it might. We might. And that's the big thing is I'm speculating somewhere between 140 to 160 starting price. So 159 is right in there.
Could you imagine what a Zora is going to start at?
That's the thing is at this point, I'm not even 100% sure a Zora is going to exist. What would be the point?
They'll make 5 of them.
Yeah, they would make very few and put the hybrid motor on the front and maybe some active aero. But other than that, you can't just add additional horsepower. I mean, you're already at 1,000. How much more can you really jam into this thing? All right, guys, we got 1,400 people in here watching. If you could please smash the thumbs up button, just so you know this is what it looks like. I'm going to be streaming the live reveal here, so you don't have to do anything. Just sit back and relax and enjoy some Corvette talk, and then you're going to see the live stream. So smash the thumbs up while you're at it. Let's make this thing a thing. So Carmine Car Review says, what do you think the production number of the car will be? That's a good question. I speculate we would get, I think it's going to be a semi-limited production. And somebody in my live chat a couple weeks ago said that they just threw out a number of 1,000 a year. I kind of like that. I think that sounds pretty adequate to the point where it's still going to satisfy most of the demand, but not going to completely crush demand. So 1,000 sounds about right.
So you don't think it's going to be as rare as a C7 ZR1?
No, there's going to be more of these than the C7 ZR1, but not by a whole lot. Because if I had to guess, 1,000 a year, and if this runs to 2028, 29, obviously that gives us between 4,000 and 5,000, because it's going to be a 2025 model year.
Thank you everybody for tuning in. Definitely stick around here within the next 10 minutes. We're going to live stream the reveal here.
Yep.
And then stick around. We'll talk about it after the reveal is over.
Yep. My head. Yeah, just stick around here. We're going to live stream the reveal right here. True Serum says more horsepower is not necessarily better. I seriously doubt the C8 ZR1 will sound as good as the NA. Yeah, it's not going to sound as good. In the Eddie X video that was up, then he pulled it down. Taj actually says that the twin turbos muffle the sound a little bit, so it's not going to be as loud as the C8 Z06, but still flat plane crank, so it's still not going to sound bad.
Roman, we're going to live stream it here from the Chevrolet website.
Yeah, so it'll be right here. Are the tires the same size as the Z06? They are the same size. So they said 345s in the rear, 275s in the front, and they are still the Sport 4S or the Cup 2Rs, depending on whether you get the ZTK or the non-ZTK package.
John says he wants to buy your Z06, C8 Z06 if you sell it.
Where's that at?
That is John Gonzalez. Down, it should be one of the most recent comments. Go all the way down.
Oh yeah, John from Vegas. John, shoot me an email. I have a couple other people that have said that they wanted to buy my car too. I would sell it as is, so it would come with all of the mods that are on it. So you are going to pay extra for the car based on how many. I have over $50,000 in mods in that car. So if you're interested, send me an email. It's just horsepowerobsessed@gmail.com. You'll be I'll add you to the list because there's a couple other people that were interested as well. But that I will be selling that car
no earlier than November, right? Is that what we
November will be as early as I will sell it, but I'll need to have everything else in order for the ZR1 before then. Dealer markups are going to be crazy. So if you guys think that you have an allocation somewhere and that it's not going to get nuts, you got another thing coming. These are going to definitely be at 100K over at least. I would not be surprised to see the first couple selling for 200-300 over. It's going to happen. It's disgusting, but it's going to happen. Yeah, so Brent says we got 1,760 people watching. Hit the like button, guys. It's free, and it makes everybody happy. If you press it, you will feel better about your life, I promise.
If you enjoy seeing Horsepower Obsessed, he has Corvette Live weekly every Monday night at 7:30 Eastern Standard Time.
Yep. And
Hurley, what's up, buddy?
We're constantly talking Corvettes on this channel here, guys. So, yeah, if you like Corvettes, this is the place to be. Matt Hurley, thanks for tuning in. You got a Z-Ray fix. That's good.
Hi, Lindsay.
Lindsay, show her the cup.
We still got it. We still got it.
We still got the cup. There it is.
Right there.
Nick, it is being revealed right here. It will be live streamed right on this same channel, so you don't have to go anywhere. So we're gonna talk about the car. I'm gonna live stream it, and then we're gonna talk about the car some more afterwards. Wally Gator says, "Enjoy the channel, Justin. Amber, both of you rock. Thank you, thank you, Wally,
for the compliment.
I was gonna say that's nice. Thank you.
Thanks for tuning in with us tonight."
Nope. Sorry, not wrong with the power plant. Literally saw all of the leaks. Actually, you know what? I have it pulled up here. Let's take a look. So here's the French website that they actually pulled down shortly after it went up. And this is all of the facts, talking about the engine, the horsepower, the RPM that it revs to, everything. It is 1,064 horsepower, 828 pound-feet of torque. You guys can say that that's wrong all you want, but you're going to find out here in 8 minutes that it is absolutely right. Yeah, 10-second eclipse. I probably will hang on as long as I can to that car because I don't want to be without one. And the Z06 is such a freaking awesome car anyway.
So many new names tonight.
Jeff. There he is. Jeff. I thought I saw your name pop up in here. What's up, man? I saw your text messages, but I'm trying my best to keep up with these comments. So let's see. How did those guys get information? So what happened is, based on what I can tell at least, Eddie X had an actual side-by-side with the car, and these French guys most likely did as well. And they both pinned the video to go live at 7:30 a.m. instead of 7:30 p.m. I think that's what happened. So these are 100% factual numbers here from GM. So we're going to see the reveal here in a second that's going to confirm it all for you. But if you guys need that extra confirmation, but if not, yeah, these numbers are legit. The ZR1 sure is a mix of the Z06 and the Zora. Yeah, it is. Do you think the ZR1 will be awesome? I absolutely do. It's already pretty awesome. Corey says, any guess on miles per gallon? Not going to be great. If I had to guess,
it's miles per gallon, right?
It's miles per gallon that really matters. But the Z06 currently doesn't really get great gas mileage, especially if you drive it like I do. And the ZR1's not going to be any different.
What sports car really does get good gas mileage?
Dave Bryan says, what was the first Corvette you ever owned? I had a C7 Z06 was my first Corvette. Yeah. What do you think the quarter mile time is? I've heard rumor says that it's 9.8. I can see that being the case with this much horsepower, so I'm going to say it's probably in the high nines, which will be insane. Let's see. I heard Zora's going to have 1536. I'm not even going to comment on the Zora at this point because I have no idea how they're even going to what they're going to do with a Zora to make it entertaining after a 1064 horsepower ZR1. We'll see. I could see the Zora just being the hybrid motor up front, and then of course the additional active aero. Maybe I could see them just going like that. Uh, Alejandro says, "What are the chances that it's flex capable?" I thought that too. A lot of people are speculating that they might be making this power with E85, but we'll see. Thanks for the donation. Assume the leaked reveal pics are new yellow and a new purple. Yes, they are. So again, if you guys haven't seen those, I'll show you over on the website here. We got the new competition yellow and the purple color Hysteria, which is funny because in this picture it totally looks blue, and it does in real life as well.
Wow, I didn't know that's the Hysteria. No kidding.
Yeah, I mean you can see a little bit more of the purple in this shot here, but again, this is a convertible as well. So the ZR1 is going to be available in a convertible. And again, that beautiful engine. Someone said something about the blue intake that they don't love the blue. I'm not a giant fan of the blue either, but
isn't
it is just so nicely put together. It looks amazing.
Isn't blue their signature
Yeah.
kind of ZR1 style thing?
Yeah, and that's
emblems on your ZR1.
Yeah, they were blue.
Were blue too.
Yep.
That must be their thing.
Yep.
Kind of like even in my car, my Cadillac, all the striping in it is blue too.
The Martian, that's not blue. If you look at this shot especially, you could tell that's the new Hysteria purple. It's not That's not blue. But they're going to show if they're going to show anything tonight, they're probably going to show a couple of these new colors off. So stay tuned for that. But yeah, missed opportunity to call it Purple Rain. That would have been a really nice.
Cool, huh?
That would have been a nice throwback because he's the one that also sang the
Prince
Little Red Corvette. So it would have been really interesting. That purple is not great. I agree. I wish they would have gone more deep purple.
More Lambo purple.
Yeah. Yeah. LT4 Power says if it wasn't for that blue intake, I'd buy it. Yeah. Oh man. Yeah, GM's safe purple. That's exactly it. Let's see. Where do we watch the reveal? Guys, you will be seeing the reveal here at 7:30. I'm going to be live streaming the reveal right here. You do not have to go anywhere. You're going to be able to see all of it here, and then we're going to come back here, talk about the reveal after it's been revealed.
3 short minutes, guys. Hang tight.
Mike Stingray, where do we watch? You're going to watch right here, buddy. I'm going to have it all streamed right here for you guys. So we're just waiting for Chevrolet at this point to update it. So I'm just watching their stuff. As soon as it goes live, I will be flipping over on here to go live as well. Stoked to see the cars. I work at the Corvette plant, but only a small part. Yep. 3 minutes till reveal, guys. Like I said, it's going to be right here. You do not need to go anywhere. I'm going to live stream it right here for you all to see. 2,500 people watching, guys. If you could, please smash the thumbs up button. Let me know you like this kind of stuff so we can do it in the future. It would be really nice to have as many thumbs up as viewers. WTF is a safe purple. That is a purple that looks more blue. That way nobody hates it. But in reality, they should have gone a little more dangerous and made it a better, more Lambo style blue.
More bold.
Purple, I meant. So the blue intake can be changed. LOL, I like the Z06's intake, but you can't have it all, I guess. Yeah, of course. You could always change the color of these things. I'll be changing the color of my C8 Z06 intake here shortly. So thumbs up, guys. Please smash the thumbs up. We are just about under a minute. I'm going to flip over to the live stream here in a second. You guys are going to get to see it all right here. Like I said, you do not have to go anywhere else. Stay tuned. I'll make sure everything is shown for you guys. We got about 50 seconds. I doubt we'll see the configurator. I don't think we're going to see the price either, but let's see. It's going to have twin turbos. Yes, it is. All right, so I'm going to flip over. I'm going to show you the countdown here. We got about 30 seconds, and then we are going to go live. So here we go. All right, guys. So there is no reveal here. This is what we get. The website literally just went live with the ZR1. The unthinkable has arrived. This is all right on GM's website. So for the guy who was commenting that I was off on the numbers, there they are, official. 1064 at 7,000 RPM, 828 pound-feet at 6,000 RPM. All right, guys. Yeah, there is no reveal video at all. So let me see if we can find anything else here. The car is apparently okay. The car is on display here at Miami. Let me see if I can show this off. But there is apparently not going to be a reveal here, which is unfortunate because I really thought GM was going to do something with this. But I'm going to show you a picture of the actual car sitting at the Miami reveal. And here it is. That's it right there. It's all covered up, but that's the car. So, guys, like I said, this is what we're getting. The new 2025 ZR1, 1064 horsepower, 828 pound-feet of torque. Ultimate expression of power and prestige. Here's a little video that they played.
The power is just unrelenting and almost indescribable.
Hi, I'm Brad Franz from Chevrolet Marketing, and today I'm here with Josh Holder on the introduction of the all-new Corvette ZR1. Josh, we understand the team's been super excited about this, but before we dive into ZR1, can we just talk a little bit about the journey that we've been on and what Corvette has meant over the last couple of years leading up to this point?
We planned the ZR1 from the beginning. So with the Stingray, followed by the track-ready Z06, followed by the all-weather capability of the E-Ray, the hardware that goes in each of those cars was planned from the beginning, which is why the LT7 evolved from the LT6. It's still got that flat plane crank, high revving magic, but this time the equipped turbochargers really bring the power to these unbelievable levels.
And you know, when you sit and you look at the car, it just looks fast, right? Like every Corvette. How important is it to also keep the design cues that have made this generation of Corvette so special?
Well, keeping the foundation lets us keep the fantastic mid-engine proportions. The cues on the ZR1 expand upon its performance. So everything you see on the outside of the ZR1 has some functional purpose, and many of them have more than one functional purpose. The intercooler heat exchanger in the hood, not only does it cool the charge air, but it also helps create front downforce.
Let's talk about the numbers. Can you give us a rundown of what ZR1's bringing to the table here?
Brad, the numbers are incredible. 1,064 horsepower, more than 800 foot-pounds of torque from 3,000 RPM to 6,500 RPM, more than 1,000 pounds of downforce at top speed, and a quarter-mile time well under 10 seconds. It's going to be the fastest Corvette that we've ever done.
Okay, all right, well, that's an important one here. Let's just take a step back. Fastest Corvette ever. Are you confirming 212 plus today?
Significantly faster than 212 miles an hour. It's absolutely incredible.
And when you start to think about the acceleration, how does that feel?
It's really mind-blowing. The first time you get in the car, you get this experience that's like, oh my God, what did I just feel? But it doesn't go away. It never disappoints. You never get used to this kind of power. It's always special. It's always enjoyable. So the ZR1 represents the first ever factory turbocharged Corvette.
When you think about turbochargers, some might say, hey, there's going to be some lag. You know, it takes a little bit of time to spool up. What are some of the things that you all did as a team to mitigate that?
That's a great question, Brad. And these turbochargers are massive, 76 millimeter compressors. So in the design of the turbocharger, we phase the exhaust cams in the engine to keep turbo speed as high as possible. We change emission timing, throttle position, and we have a special wastegate that's electronically controlled. So we can use those features to keep turbo speeds as high as possible. So when you're exercising the ZR1 on the twisty roads, your favorite place to drive, or even on the track, that massive power and torque is always available. It's incredible.
Yeah. Well, Josh, thanks so much for the time today. Really appreciate it. I think everyone's going to be extremely excited
about what the 2025 Corvette ZR1 has to offer. You guys really rocked it. Thanks for giving us a vehicle like this. Thank you, Brad. We can't wait to share it with the world. The power is just unrelenting.
All right, guys. So there it is. If you guys were wondering, significantly faster than 212 miles an hour as the top speed and under 10 seconds quarter mile time, which I was saying earlier, 9.8. It's probably going to be between 9.6 and 9.8 quarter mile time. And he said faster than 212 top speed. I've heard 220, but yeah, if Bogey's right at 255, I'll take that too. But
Insane.
significantly faster. Yeah, no pricing, no weight, no availability. So there's no builder that has gone live, I don't think. So yeah, it's definitely interesting. I think that was the reveal. There is no official video showing anything more than this. The reveal happening in Miami right now, I believe, is a closed event to a very select few people. I don't think that's necessarily a reveal, but more of a show off, because they do have the car. If you guys haven't seen that yet, they do have the car sitting out front covered up. They're going to likely pull the cover back on that for some of the lucky few that got to see it. That looks pretty good. I mean, even under the cover, that thing just looks absolutely insane. So if we go through some more of the Chevy website here, though, you can see all kinds of information about it. Right here, you get the button where it does say coupe or convertible. This car is coming in either one. The video there definitely cleared up a little bit for me that I was wondering about, which was the top speed and the quarter mile time. Sure enough, it's pretty insane. Here's some of the new colors. You can actually click on them. So this is the competition yellow, the new, the renew Sebring orange, and then the hysteria, which everybody in that saying in that video that it wasn't. That's the hysteria blue.
There is
or
a
purple.
blue other than that hysteria.
And then we got the gallery here showing a bunch of different images of the car. If you guys haven't seen this yet, the rear glass has actually got the split window action happening, which is pretty interesting. If you haven't seen that yet, this is definitely an interesting design. Now, in my opinion, this design they went with this because they wanted this car to be noticeably not a Z06. Yeah. So interesting. Where did it say that? Let's see. Up at the top here. Yeah, if you look at the bottom right here, it says model year 2025 Corvette ZR1, available 2025. So it is definitely, if you read the fine print down there at the bottom, it's a 2025 model year car. This is not a 2026. I mean, of course, you can get them in 26 as well, but it is starting as a 2025. Yeah. So unfortunately, no official reveal from Miami, but we got some answers, which is really interesting that they would have done it this way. Again, for those of you who were doubting it, I don't know why you would doubt it, but it is 1,064 horsepower, 828 foot-pound of torque. That engine's looking beautiful, twin turbocharged right there. Let's take a look at what other videos we got here. So twin turbochargers. No audio here, just kind of showing you. And if you guys watch the live videos, you'll recognize that turbo setup because we actually saw that not too long ago. That was something that was leaked. The intake. Oh, this was another thing that was in Eddie X's video. There is a water to air coolers built right into the actual engine. So as the air's coming in, it's being cooled right on the actual engine. On top of the fact that there's going to be cooling happening in the front of the car as well. Very cool. Yeah, so guys, that's it. Yeah, boost pressure. It is. It's freaking sick. This thing is just absolutely nuts. The new interior combo is going to be available for all the Corvettes, not just the ZR1. The electric wastegate is where I'm interested because that means they can have that thing stay closed for launch applications. Something tells me you're going to launch this thing in under 2 seconds. Yeah, it's in Miami. It's kind of a big secret. There's no 2 ZR trim. It's going to be 1 ZR and 3 ZR most likely. Flat plane is definitely confirmed. It is a 5.5 flat plane crank. They lowered the RPM from 8,600 down to 8,000 to save, basically to help make this thing warrantyable. Like I said, if you just throw twin turbos at an LT6, it's not going to react real well. They did a lot of extra work with thicker forged titanium parts in the engine to make sure it handles this power. This is not just an LT6 with twin turbos on it. Go to the car and driver stream. Okay. All right. Let's check it out. We'll see what's going on over here. Car and driver. Oh yeah, with Taj. All right. Let's watch this.
All right, here we have the Corvette ZR1, and this one's outfitted with clearly the track performance package with aero and everything.
All the bits everywhere. So dive planes, aggressive front splitter. This has the elevated gurney, we call it.
Yes.
It's a trip feature that gets high pressure air on the front, low pressure air on the back. You'll see that on a lot of race cars. They all have a lip, some kind of feature like that to help evacuate, actually suck air out. High pressure in the front where it stagnates against the heat exchangers, and then it gets sucked out and up over the car and helps power the underside of that wing to create downforce on the back.
It needs all that because you were working with how much horsepower?
1,064. And the reason it's 1,064 is it probably seems like, well, why didn't you just make it 1,100? Why didn't you make it 1,000 even?
Yeah.
And a lot of companies might do it that way. Okay, here's our marketing target for this segment. But if you look at the last three generations of ZR1, you had 638, 755, now we got 1064. They're all kind of funky numbers, not a number that some person would make up in a cube. It's a resultant of what's the maximum we can get. And that's kind of unusual for a big company to operate. You can tell an engineer, I want the maximum I can get. They'll usually befuddled. What are the constraints? What do you mean? And so we work with our propulsion engineering buddies, and we work on, okay, well, let's make all the decisions together. What kind of hardware can we get? What can we cool? How durable? All the questions that, for what would meet a Corvette customer's expectations, and then we'll push it all the way to the limit. And it just happens to be that the number turned out to be 1,064.
Well, there's also, like, when you're that specific, how can anybody argue with the accuracy, right? Like when it's...
We are not playing that game. We didn't make up some random number and say, this must be true, because nobody would ever think to design an engine to this power.
So 5.5 liter V8, flat plane crank.
Yes.
What's the red line?
8,000 RPM. So still a spinner motor, super low inertia. Everything's got the character of the Z06 with very low inertia, immediate response. We were paranoid about turbo lag from the beginning because we've had superchargers, and we bragged at supercharger. You got instant reaction because you got boost on demand. It's always there. So we've done a lot of things with the geometry. If you look at the engine, the turbochargers are essentially in the manifold, in the exhaust manifold. They're right there. And we use smart strategies to retain boost even when you're off throttle. So we keep the wastegates closed. We actually don't relieve the pressure. We keep that pressure there. So as you crowd back into the throttle, it's there. And the turbos spool up really, really quickly. And since you're dealing with you start at such a high level, even when you're kind of off boost, it's crazy horsepower. And so it doesn't feel at all like a historic big turbo motor where it's nothing and then everything. It comes on quite linearly.
And torque is 828?
828 foot-pounds. And almost all of that is available from like 3,000 to 7,000.
I think the slide said like 800 pound-feet plus from 3,000 to 6,000. That's insanity.
It is. It just feels relentless. It feels like you're on this aircraft catapult thing, and you're like, stop! It's amazing how it pulls you towards the next corner.
Are you doing any torque limitation in the gears?
In the lower gears, where the engine could easily overwhelm the tires, we do torque limitation. We do that today. We do it on Z06. We do it on Stingray, actually. It's just to preserve the life of the lower gears.
Right.
And since you can't use the torque at the rear tires, we don't want to put super tall base gears on. We want to keep the engine revs. It's complicated, but in the whole drive cycles, you want to make sure you've got the right level of gearing. But it turns out that like first and second, you've got too much gearing, and so we do torque manage those.
Okay, that's understandable because you're dealing with what, 530 something horsepower per tire, per driven tire.
Yeah,
like that's insanity.
That's a lot.
And through that 8-speed dual clutch, talk me through what happened this first time you put this engine on the dyno.
Well, we've burned up a lot of dynos. And we actually had to put in new dynos for the C7 with 755 horsepower. Nobody ever imagined we'd be operating in that range. And so we actually put in new dynos for that. And they were thinking, oh, these are good for 1,000. Well, we turned out we needed more than that.
Not much more.
Not much more than that. So yeah, this engine ripped up the dynos pretty good. So there's parallel development of the engine and the dyno infrastructure here at General Motors. In fact, one engine escaped the dyno. It tore itself off the stand. It became completely displaced, effectively breaking its moorings. And so we had to repair the dyno, put it back. The engine was fine. We had to put it back on the dyno, continue our work, but it had to re-engineer a lot of the support systems for the engine.
I bet your engine designer felt like a proud parent at that point, right?
Oh, high fives. Break the dyno.
Now, talk to me about the exhaust coming out of this thing.
An engine's a pump, right?
Yes.
So it's
simple terms, right?
Essentially pumping air. It's combustion. It's pushing down on the piston, and then you're pumping the air out. And so part of that pump is spinning up the turbos. But it all eventually comes out of these exhausts, and it comes out at speeds we've never seen. We quoted the statistic that the airflow through those turbos would empty an Olympic-sized swimming pool in just 4 minutes. So you can think about how long would it take me to fill up an Olympic-sized swimming, even with a high-pressure hose, it would take forever. But to take that volume of air and shove it through these little pipes, it means it's going a pretty significant fraction of the speed of sound. And you can feel it, you can hear it, you can see it, you can see flames at times, depending on how you're driving. The flames come out, and we've had the flames come out maybe about this far. These come up about this far, and they are visible during the day sometimes. Usually it's dark when you see the flames, but we've actually photographed them during the day, flames coming out the back. And the airflow is such that it actually provides a little bit of thrust to the vehicle. 37 pounds of thrust, which sounds like, it's nothing compared to the tractor effort of the fire, but it's measurable. It's actually
measurable thrust coming out of the exhaust.
Standing here and feeling 37 pounds on your shins, that's pretty noticeable.
That's absurd.
Yes.
But in order to do that, you need to get all that air in the engine. So you have a series of inlets.
Yes.
Through here. We'll get to we talked about the front briefly, but we can go back to there. Walk me through these guys.
So if you could have envisioned the airflow around the car, you can see all the air intakes on the front. Some of those dump into the wheel well. The ones on the hood are obvious, but the whole outside of this car is flooded with warm air.
Okay.
It's downstream air of the heat exchangers we have in the front. And so the engine really wants to breathe cool air. It doesn't want to breathe warm air. And the brakes really want cool air. And so we used our computational fluid dynamic tools to map the temperature of the airflow all the way along. And it's very, very complicated. There's like little tornadoes, you know what a vortex is? There's little tornadoes like coming off the mirror. And they actually run down the side of the car. And in some ways, they actually control the separation of warm air and cold air. And so it might not be completely intuitive, but there was two cool spots, two sources of cool air on the side of the car. One was right here, and that's the one we use for brakes, even though it's awkwardly positioned for brake cooling. Usually you see brake cooling like down here, down there, underside of the car, but there's a lot of warm air under the car too. And so we had to do the convoluted exercise to plumb this, this is pretty big. I can almost stick my hand in it to get a pipe all the way around and back inside to.
All right, guys. So I don't want to play all of that because it's a lot of talking, but ultimately I want to discuss a little bit about what we've seen here so far. I want to play a little bit of the car and driver reveal because they talk a little bit about the stuff that I heard from Eddie X's video in the beginning. Number one, that extra intake on the back is for brake cooling. So the rear brakes are getting cooled from the top side now, right through the intake, and then on the coupe, the shoulder intakes up on top are for additional air intake. So is there a live video at Miami? Let's take a gander here. I didn't want to just continue to show this, but let's see if Chevrolet is broadcasting anything from Miami. I'm not seeing anything. Where did you see that, Tyler? When are you getting one? Honestly, as soon as I can. I have my name on a list. I'm number one at a pretty big dealership, but it depends on price. And I had a feeling we weren't going to see price tonight. We didn't see price, but we did hear the car is significantly faster than 212 top speed, which it would have to be at 1,064 horsepower. Less than 10 seconds at a quarter mile. I'm thinking 9.6 to 9.8. And we didn't hear anything about the weight of the car either. So still a little bit of information to be revealed, but yeah, the reveal of this was not as great as I was hoping it was going to be. But at the same time, we did get to see the car. We got to see a lot of information given right off the bat. Yeah, we got a lot of good stuff here, guys. So if you're interested in the ZR1, I feel like this should have only made you more interested because this thing is an absolute monster. So I will be getting one as long as the price is under $250,000 fully loaded. At this point, we just got to wait and see. Yeah, there's a bunch of stuff out there now, guys, from Car and Driver, Motor Trend, Eddie X's videos up now, all this stuff. If you want to see all of the information, but everything we've talked about here is going to be a lot of the stuff you're going to hear again with the thicker forged titanium parts on the inside, 5.5 liter with a lowered 8,000 RPM rev limit.
Car and Driver showing pricing.
They are? Car and Driver website showed pricing. Okay, well, let's take a look at Car and Driver website. New Corvette ZR1. Let's see what they say. Pricing. Estimated top speed. This is good. Estimated top speed of 215 plus. 1,064 horsepower. If I had to guess, their price on here is probably a guess. I'm not seeing any prices though.
215 top speed. Oh, can't exceed 215 top speed.
It's going to exceed 215. That's insane. So it says the ZTK package approaches, if not exceeds, the $200,000 mark. Now this is just speculation. So there's not anything confirmed from Chevrolet yet about the price of the car. And that's, of course, that's going to be the big question everybody's going to want to know. How much is this thing going to cost? So yeah, if you want to get the car, the biggest battle is going to be getting an allocation, but the second battle is going to be affording it because it's going to be pricey.
It's probably going to have markups just like every C8.
The markup's going to start at least 100,000. So even if the car comes out fully loaded at 250, expect to pay at least 350 for it. And that's honestly on the low end. If that is actually limited production, like I've heard it's going to be way higher than that. You're gonna end up paying $400,000 for this car.
Is it worth $400,000? Would you say?
I would say yes, based on the performance. Yeah, 1,064 horsepower.
Yeah, but the markups. I mean, in that territory, you can get a GT-RS3 Porsche.
GT3 RS. Yeah.
GT3 RS. That's what I said.
It will definitely devalue over time. But I should preface that with it depends on how many of these they make. if they really keep it limited to 1,000 per year or less, it will definitely devalue slower. I'll tell you that much. So yeah, car and driver saying MSRP between 180 and 205. I'm assuming that's starting MSRP. If you follow the C7 lineup in pricing, the C7 Z06 versus the C7 Stingray was definitely a different price gap than with the C8 Stingray and the C8 Z06. So they're going higher on these ones. The C8 ZR1 is not going to just be 20 to 30 grand higher starting price than the Z06, the way the C7 was. It's going to be probably going to be at least 160 to start if I had to guess.
So Devin427 Racing says it's worth anything under $1 million.
Honestly, the performance you're getting here is just like John S said here, the SF90. You're getting the SF90 performance for less than the 700,000 that Ferrari charges.
That SF90 is sweet, though.
It is.
That is super sweet.
It is, but so is the C8. The C8 Z06 especially just took everything I didn't like about the Stingray and improved on it perfectly. And now the ZR1 looks a lot like the Z06 with a couple extra little tweaks. It's perfect.
A lot of people are saying you can't wait till you get one. I think we should start taking donations now.
RT Basie says, how do they make the flat plane work with the 5.5? What they did was, number one, they lowered the RPM from 8,600 down to 8,000. They beefed up all of the internals, so everything's thicker, forged titanium. And they didn't say this, but if I had to guess, they lowered the compression ratio because typically that doesn't play well together. But either way, they did it, which is nuts. I would have never guessed that they would have been able to do this. I thought for sure they were going to lower the displacement down to somewhere around at the most 4.8 liters, but they kept it to 5.5, and it looks awesome. It doesn't sound as good as the Z06. The sound clips we've heard so far, you can tell the turbos are definitely muffling that flat plane crank. So we'll see. I mean, there'll be mods out there for this car that just like there was for the Z06, throwing catless or cat deletes or high flow cats on there to make it sound even better. This thing's going to be an absolute monster. The fact that it could absolutely run under 10s stock. My main concern with it is getting traction. How are they getting traction with this car using the same width tires and the same style tires that the Z06 uses? Because the Z06, you can break those loose in second, third gear. Yeah, a warranty, but no one knows how to fix them. That is kind of one of the concerns of this, but unfortunately, most of these ZR1s will go into collectors with no interest in driving them over 70 miles an hour. That's always the case with the high-end, expensive cars, but yeah, guys, we got almost 2,000 people watching still. If you could, please smash the thumbs up button. Let me know you're liking the content. I love doing this kind of stuff. I'm a Corvette guy through and through. I do live videos like this every Monday night at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and everything else on my channel is basically Corvette content. So if you're here for the first time, consider subscribing. Smash the thumbs up button if not.
Thanks to everybody
if nothing else.
Did donate the super chats tonight too. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for the super chats, guys. You're awesome. Well, we're not leaving you. Most of us have a TV and a phone and another phone. Yeah, there you go. I appreciate it, guys. You guys are really, really awesome as usual. We still got 2,000 people in here watching, which is insane. I don't want to display too much other people's content on here, but there is a lot of stuff out there right now showing the reveals of the ZR1 because people had a lot of it filmed prior to this. I do think Chevy kind of dropped the ball on the reveal of this. The reveal of the Z06 was perfect. I loved the C8 Z06 reveal. It was amazing. They should have done something just like that with this car. I'm not sure why they didn't. I thought for sure with the timer counting down on their website, they were going to have some sort of live reveal or at least a 20, 30-minute long video talking about the specifics of it. But I guess they're leaving that to some of the other YouTubers that were given early access to the car. So yeah, honestly, that's the thing. Is like the C8 Z06 is no joke. I mean, that car, I love my C8 Z06, and it's going to take a lot to pry that away from me. That's why I'm saying if this ZR1 comes out and it's not priced right, I'm fine just keeping my Z06. I don't need the C8 ZR1, but I mean, at the same time, I kind of need it. You know what I mean? It's one of those things. But yeah, guys, we're coming up on the hour here. I think I'm going to let you guys go. I really appreciate all of you tuning in. I appreciate all of the interaction here. If you could, guys, please smash the thumbs up button for me on the way out. Go check out some of the other YouTubers, like Eddie X especially. He was one of the first ones with that video. Check out their videos and let me know what you think. Come back here and let me know what you think. But if you could, like I said, please smash the thumbs up, hit subscribe on your way out. And thanks for tuning in, everyone. Really appreciate your time. We'll see you next time.
Good night.